I'm Laura King, and I'm here at the Catherine Violet Hubbard Animal Sanctuary in Newtown, standing on top of our pollinator plant garden bed, and here to teach you at home how to easily divide your perennial plants so you can add more plants to your own garden, or better yet, share your plants with friends and family. So here we have a plant, coneflower or echinacea. And what we're going to do, this has been in the ground for 2 seasons, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and divide this plant in the ground. I'm literally going to cut it in half, dig up half, and plant it elsewhere. Any shovel will do. You don't have to, please don't go out to the store and buy new shovels. This just happens to be my favorite shovel, but any shovel will do. You could also use a garden edger or a spade, and what you're going to do is try to find the center point. Drive your shovel straight into the ground, wiggle it back and forth, like so. I like to go around the outside, straight down, so you have really good root system intact. You don't want to cut off the roots right underneath the plant. Okay, and then we're going to lift. We're back. We have an autumn joy sedum here. This is a wonderful succulent plant, very easy to grow, full sun, once established, which means you do need to water it through the first planting season. Once established, it can take the heat, it can take the drought. It always looks good. The best part of this plant right here is that it blooms in the fall, keeps the bees and the butterflies happy with nectar. Very easy, again, to divide. I would have done this maybe 2 weeks ago. It's a little further along than I wish, but no worries. We're again going to just take our shovel. You cannot kill the plant by doing this. Straight down the middle, all the way through the middle, around the outside, straight down again. You want those roots intact. We're going to lift this plant out of the ground. You can see here, nice roots intact. And if I wanted to, I could even split this plant again, which I will do right now. You want to roll it so the flat side's down. Again, use your leg power. One more time. And now you have 2 new plants ready to be planted in your garden. Here we are again with a perfect example of a plant that has grown way beyond the original size. You want to divide these perennials to keep the plant healthy, so it doesn't have any dead spots in the middle. This is an aster, a New England aster. This is a great plant to divide into 4 pieces, 4 sections. Again, here we go. Some of the root systems are so tenacious that you can use your shovel kind of like a pogo stick. Be careful. Get it right down into the ground. Another perennial plant that has a very thick root system that is a wonderful pollinator plant here in Connecticut is Eupatorium Joe Pyeweed. Again, a fall blooming plant as the New England aster. Great source for nectar for bees and butterflies in the fall, especially of our monarch friends who are getting ready to make a trip down to Mexico. As you can see, this is not a delicate project. Do not be afraid. And there you have it. Here's one section. You can shake off the excess soil. You have one in the fall. Do know your plant. Do look it up and make sure that they are a perennial that does like to be divided, because there are several that do not like to be divided. Our third coming out now. So instead of one plant, We now divided and have 3 very healthy divisions to share. So we're going to take our plant, make sure that it is not deeper than the surrounding soil. We want it a little bit higher. Make sure that it's not sunk into the hole, because all the water will go in and cover the top of the plant. You'll kill the plant. And then again, just take the soil, break it up in your hands. Make sure again the soil level, so when it rains the water collects around the outside of the plant and goes straight down to the roots. And then of course you want to mulch around your plants, about 2.5 inches of mulch, and make sure that you keep the mulch away from the top of the plant coming out of the ground, the crown of the plant, because the mulch keeps moisture against that, and you'll have problems with insects and disease and everything else. So you want to make sure your mulch is like this, water it in, and you're all set. This is another plant, perennial plant in my garden this time. This is a Stelladora daylily. Again, take your shovel right in the center of the plant, straight down. Separate the plant that's in the ground from the piece that you're going to remove from the ground. You can of course remove the whole plant and divide it once it's outside of the ground. Again, on the outside, straight down, keeping all of the roots intact. Now we're going to lift. That is the root system there, and we're going to divide this one again in half. Okay, so for those of you who may not have a backyard, maybe just enough space to put a pot on your front porch or your back steps or a little balcony, do ask your friends who are gardeners to give you some sedum plants. Again, this is an autumn joy sedum, blooms in the fall. It's a succulent, it looks good all the time. And these are other low growing variety sedums that trail. They both have yellow flowers. They bloom in the summer. Depending on where you live, sedums are great for pots. They don't require watering all the time. What you want to do is, I divided this sedum into 5 or 6 pieces. This is going to be the center plant because this sedum gets really tall, and then these will cascade over the pot and create a beautiful container garden, which is perennial. You can leave it as is in the fall, just cut everything back down to the soil line and it will come back to you next spring. Do not worry if a couple of the branches flop like this. It's normal. Give it some water. The roots will grab in a couple of weeks and it'll be beautiful, I promise. We're gonna just take that one out, take that one out. And these sedums have very shallow root system, as you can see, and all you need to do is just tuck that into your pot, like so. I have a couple of different varieties here. Give it some interest. Tuck this into the back of your pot. I'll turn the pot around when I'm done. Like easy container gardening for the beginner gardener. Don't be afraid to divide your perennials. It's super easy, as I showed you. In honor of Earth Day and for the Catherine Violet Hubbard Animal Sanctuary, I will be sharing my divided perennials from my garden with friends and neighbors, and actually anyone who drives by my driveway. I'm going to put this sign out, and I hope that it inspires people to try gardening. So happy Earth Day, everybody.